You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
I love that footage, and the guy inside that drone is not the one driving it.
No, we're going to have details on the first passenger drone that they're testing out. But when you hear the specifics, you're going to be like, well, I don't quite know about this. Maybe we're going to let them test that one for a while.
You wouldn't want an ex driving that drone for you while you're up there.
No, that would not be good. If anyone doesn't like you for any reason, don't let them drive that passenger drone.
Don't get in the drone.
Don't get in the drone.
On that note, a sensitive thought say today. Here's John Scalzi with Thursday's forecast. Hey, buddy.
Hey, it's looking pretty good for us today. We don't have the big fog problem around that they do just a little bit further to the north of us. You're taking a trip north on our roadways, and you cross Skyway Bridge, you go through Pinellas County, you head up toward Dunedin, and you start to encounter some thicker fog around. We haven't seen that here yet, but the potential exists for it possibly to develop over the next several hours. We're watching it carefully, let you know if that actually does develop. Becky in Omayaca does report a little bit of cloudy sky out there. She's got 57 degrees. Cooper coming in at 64 in central Sarasota. Generally speaking, our visibilities are better than 5 miles most everywhere, which is, that's fine with me. If I can see 5 miles, I'm good to go. Looking at temperatures across the region that are generally hugging mid-60s most everywhere. We have slightly cooler temperatures well inland. But all in all, we are looking for a nice day today with 79 degrees by 3 p.m., 20% chance of a little patchy drizzle perhaps. And then as we head into the evening, temperatures fall off into the 60s. Your school bus forecast for the kids today looks excellent. This morning, 68 degrees. Watch for some possible fog in places. It's real patchy for the pickup time. And then for the drop-off time this evening, maybe an isolated sprinkle, but certainly mild. Temperature around 79. Forecast for you in a second.
All right, thank you very much. Talk to you soon. There's the roads right now. We'll see 301 building up there as you get to downtown Bradenton, otherwise relatively clear at this hour of the day in Manatee County. Farther south, we'll see Clark Road showing some activity there in the eastbound lane around Beneva, Honore, McIntosh, where the Legacy Trail starts right there. And South County, all clear at 6:02. Here's a live picture right now at I-75 and University, usually the busiest spot in the area right now. It is easy to get through the diverging diamond.
This will be a good time of the day to try it if you feel a little intimidated by that traffic scenario right there.
You might arrive hours earlier to your destination, but you can get through without problems right now.
There you go.
6:03 on your Thursday morning.
All right, our top story this hour. Schools are the most vulnerable places when it comes to spreading the flu. This one is causing a big concern for parents out there.
Our Marla Spence joins us now from Sarasota Military Academy with more on why they can be breeding grounds for viruses.
Yeah, parents, you may just want to listen up. The flu virus can spread to an entire classroom in just one school day. According to the Centers for Disease Control, those viruses and germs can live on hard surfaces for up to 24 hours. Those hard surfaces can be anything from school desks to even a doorknob. Now, it's always important and wise for parents to enforce hand washing to their kids. Manatee County School District is taking matters into their own hands by approving overtime for janitors to clean a few classrooms and also a few schools within the school district that may have had a higher amount of flu cases. Coming up at 6:30, we're going to be breaking down the number of absences that school officials believe is all due to the flu. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marla, for the latest on flu season, ways to stay healthy, along with breaking news. Check out our new app at the App Store. It's under WWSB or My Suncoast.
All right, now to a developing story in Taiwan. This morning, rescuers are still working to search through all that rubble after a devastating 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck near the east coast in Hawaiian. Now, the quake caused several buildings to cave in and even tilt, as you can see right there in this case. At least 6 people there were killed and more than 70 others are still missing. Now, the opening ceremony of South Korea's Winter Olympic Games is now just a day away, and North Korea wants some attention. They're holding its annual military parade early this morning. The message from Pyongyang to the world is one of defiance. They won't halt their nuclear program. The parade wasn't shown live. Instead, they showed an edited version instead.
Well, this morning, a resignation at the White House. A top aide has quit among allegations of domestic abuse. ABC's Kenneth Moten shows us how the administration is reacting.
This morning, sources say top White House officials knew for months about domestic violence allegations against one of President Trump's most trusted advisors, Staff Secretary Rob Porter.
The President and Chief of Staff have had full confidence and trust in his abilities and his performance.
Porter accused of abusing his 2 ex-wives, the women first coming forward to tell their stories in the Daily Mail and The Intercept. Chief of Staff John Kelly first defending Porter, calling him a man of true honor and integrity. But then the release of this image, Porter's first ex-wife Colby Holderness claiming he punched her a decade ago. Overnight, a new statement from Kelly expressing shock, saying there is no place for domestic violence. I stand by my previous comments and believe every individual deserves the right to defend their reputation. Porter resigned, releasing his own statement. These outrageous allegations are simply false. I took the photos, and the reality behind them is nowhere close to what is being described. I have been transparent and truthful about these vile claims. It's unclear when Trump knew about the allegations, but the White House says Porter was not forced out. Porter's second wife, Jenny Willoughby, told the Washington Post about an alleged attack after their first anniversary.
He came and grabbed me by the shoulders here and pulled me out of the shower in a rage.
In 2010, that second ex-wife got an emergency protective order against Porter. He's called the allegations against him a coordinated smear campaign. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions is tackling the opioid epidemic that is plaguing the nation and, of course, the Suncoast. During a visit to Tampa yesterday, Sessions said federal investigators continue to crack down on dark net marketplaces. Now, those are talking about the computer network. It's primarily for illegal file sharing, which allows people to find and buy those illegal drugs. Now, the Drug Enforcement Agency is now asking medical practitioners whether they've received continuing medical education on prescribing or dispensing opioids when they apply for a license or a renewal. Now, Sessions also highlighted several overdose cases right here in Central Florida.
Few families in this country are untouched by this disaster. Who could forget the tragic story of Katie Golden, a 17-year-old from South Tampa? She died last year after accidentally overdosing on heroin.
Now, Sessions says too many opioids are being prescribed here in the U.S.
And in South Sarasota County, a roundabout in Venice is already nearing capacity. The 2-lane Jacaranda roundabout was built about 7 years ago, and since then the number of drivers has gone up around that circle. In fact, FDOT says the maximum amount of daily drivers should be about 45,000. Right now it's about 41,000. That according to a study paid for by Venice Regional Hospital.
So much depends on when you take the data, both time of year and time of day, and weather. I mean, you think about it, there are all sorts of problems.
Sarasota County officials say they are reviewing that Venice Hospital study.
Well, these days, drones are being used for a lot of different things. Delivery services, used to get the perfect shot by TV news outlets, and so many more things. But how about the world's first drone to carry people? New this morning, there's new details about the world's first passenger drone. China has developed a drone that can take passengers for a spin. It is controlled completely by an automated system. No pilot license required. That part concerns me a little bit. Now, the company says it can carry one person weighing 220 pounds for around 20 minutes. It doesn't say what happens if you go over any of those specifics. But this innovative technology is definitely changing the game for the way that we explore our skies.
I'll have to have a scale by the door for me.
Right? I think so. You just stand there. Please stand right there for 1 minute.
An extra muffin.
Right.
Speaking of high tech, this is close to home. Amazon has patented a wristband that can track a worker's locations, their hand movements. How'd you like that? Amazon got the patent last month, but has yet to say if they'll start using the high-tech wristbands on their own employees. If the company does use them, they would work in tandem with its inventory management system. Critics have pointed out privacy issues, but Amazon is dismissing those concerns.
Opa! It is that time of the year again. A 4-day festival celebrating the traditional Greek way of life kicks off today in Sarasota. Volunteers and church members they've been preparing for the 34th annual Greek Glendy Festival, along with the traditional Greek food. Oh, yum! There's going to be live music, dancing, a kids zone, church tours, and so much more. This is going to be the 34th year of that festival. It's held at St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church on North Lockwood Ridge Road. That festival starts this morning around 11 o'clock and it runs through Sunday night.
That is always fun. Good turnout, and hope the weather cooperates. Yeah.
Such wonderful food. What a great thing to do this weekend.
Oh, good idea.
And the church tours are very cool too.
That's right. Also, we'll have John's forecast about the weekend on the way, also first alert traffic, and an expensive accident that will make you think twice about removing jewelry.
The split-second moment that almost cost a couple tens of thousands of dollars. We are going to have that story when you come back.
Temperatures are in the 60s right now. Should see a high close to 80 later on today. Love that warm weather. John's complete first alert forecast on the way right here on Good Morning Suncoast.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I do that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Cortez Bridge webcam, tower cam shot from the bridge there, put into motion over the last 6 hours. Doesn't really show much in the way of any kind of fog issues for that area. And that's always a good sign in terms of any kind of sea fog development, because that's one of the first places that seems to get it. So I would say that along our coastlines right now, things are shaping up to be pretty good compared to what they could have been had the winds not been calm. If the winds had been, say, out of the southwest at about 5 miles per hour, I think we could have been socked in, just as what is happening just to the north of us, about an hour's drive, where they have a dense fog advisory up because the winds have been a little more elevated there. With sea fog, you got to have winds to kind of take that warm, moist air and bring it over the relatively cooler waters. 65 degrees, the air temperature. A little bit of cloud cover out there. We have cloud cover because of an approaching frontal boundary. Today will be warm, though, despite the fact that we'll have a cold front move through. We may catch a little bit of an isolated sprinkle in the afternoon, but it is not going to be a big deal. It won't last long, and we're talking about trace amounts. 70 degrees our air temperature by 9 a.m. under a kind of cloudy sky, and then 76 degrees by 12 noon. Get up pretty close to the 80-degree mark again today, just as we did yesterday. And with a 20% chance of a 3 p.m. shower, I wouldn't worry about it too terribly much, because that 20% chance is for just a sprinkle, a few kind of drops on the windshield that makes you hit that intermittent. And that'll be really, most of us won't even see that. So a fairly nice dry day, but just a little extra cloud cover around 72 as we head into 7 p.m. So here's the story. We have this frontal boundary that's sinking southward. It's part of the same system that brought all of that snow showers to the northeast. Well, the energy of that system is now located well to the north, 1,000 miles away. So the frontal boundary itself is going to have a very hard time sinking southward through our area. As it does, high pressure will build in back behind it. The front will get down into the Florida Straits and just kind of stay there. The tail end of it may lift a little further north as a warm front, creating some cloud cover out in the central Gulf, and that may blow across here tomorrow. But otherwise, I think we're looking at pretty quiet conditions with not much influence from that front. More clouds, perhaps, an isolated sprinkle. Temperatures just fine, more sun tomorrow. Watch the long-range futurecast as we put it into motion. There's our frontal boundary sinking down through the state. Looks bad, it falls apart. And that's pretty much what we can expect by the time it gets into our area. Be lucky to see any rainfall with this system whatsoever. Forecast is shaping up like this. We'll have that wind out of the north at about 10 to 15. It will kind of increase a little bit during the evening hours, becoming just a little bit breezy. Watch for that. Temperatures look nice. We'll go with about 81 today for a daytime high, 20% chance of a sprinkle. Tomorrow, 82. Nighttime lows not impacted all that much either. We stay warm on Saturday. Little extra cloud cover perhaps on Saturday. And then on Sunday, another front moves into the picture. That front brings us a chance of rain, a little better chance of rain, which lingers into Monday as well. Temperatures, though, not impacted at all. And as we head into Valentine's Day, things look pretty nice for that. I think we'll probably see on Valentine's Day nighttime lows coming in, or evening lows coming in the mid-70s, and it should be a beautiful sunset period if everything works out just right. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic at 6:17. If you're headed into Manatee County this morning, we do have some slowdowns that are starting to begin, especially in that interchange if you're heading across the bridges, as well as 41 southbound. You've got a little congestion there, and southbound on 301 as well. Now, if you're heading into North Sarasota this morning, we're definitely starting to see some of the usual morning congestion and backups a little bit. University Parkway is one that's starting to get a little busy right now, as well as Cortez, that's getting a little busy, or Fruitville, excuse me, as well as Bee Ridge Road, and a little bit of a backup there on Clark Road as well. Now, if you're heading into South Sarasota, that one is not looking too bad. It's actually running pretty smooth out there so far this morning. Once again, that is your first alert traffic. Well, we all know that accidents happen, but the one that you're about to see had a pretty hefty price tag attached to it, about $10,000.
A woman accidentally flushed her engagement ring down the toilet. $10,000, you say?
$10,000.
ABC's Lisa Amin Guliazan has the story.
He did something extremely special.
Haley Morrissey loves her engagement ring, but for more than 48 hours, she thought it was gone for good. Saturday, she'd accidentally flushed it down the toilet after her fiance left it by the sink to dry.
And then set it like this, and then kind of patted it off and rolled it like that.
Panic set in.
I thought there's no chance in the world that we were ever going to see it again.
The couple's neighbors quickly rallied to help. Talk about having resourceful friends. Once word got out about the ring, they showed up. One person had this mesh, another had a metal detector, and someone else had an industrial-grade snake. They got a camera, found the right sewer pipe, and started digging, cutting, and sifting through you-know-what.
Also, I had to watch a bunch of YouTube videos to know how the snake worked with the wand.
But still no ring. Then neighbor Ken Gunari, who's a building inspector, had one last idea.
Turn on the bathtub, flush the toilet, and dump the 2 5-gallon buckets into the toilet all at once.
And 200 feet down the line...
Oh, man, look at that Peppy.
There it was, Haley's ring. Definitely dirty, a little dinged up, but still intact.
Wow.
Man, $10,000.
They got lucky. I worked with a former co-host of mine. He was an NFL player. He played on a Super Bowl team, and he got a Super Bowl ring. He dropped it down the toilet at LaGuardia Airport, and it was one of the automatic flush things. Gone. And his was, I think, around $22,000.
Yeah.
And it was not insured yet either.
Oh, that
Super Bowl ring, gone.
That moment when you watch it happen. Oh, boy.
Yeah, they had a lucky ending in their case, though. That was good.
Still ahead, just how dangerous is drowsy driving?
A new study has the eye-opening results. It's coming at you right after this.
It's 6:20 right now. Here's a live picture of the U.S. Capitol. The Senate has reached a 2-year budget deal. Shutdown, though, the government is still possible. Much more on that story. Other news, 26 degrees right now in Washington, 63 in Sarasota. More news after this.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today, A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Here's the scene right now as we speak at University and I-75 University Parkway in Sarasota County. Not a lot of traffic right now. Oh, there's some folks coming out of Lakewood Ranch, but it'll get a little lot busier as the day progresses.
That is right. Not too bad out there today. The diverging diamond, the traffic
as we call it,
snafu.
The first in the state, diverging diamond, $75 million project. Welcome back, 6:24 right now. For new moms and dads, the struggle of deciding what food to give your baby can be overwhelming. One company now offers freshly made baby food they'll deliver straight to your front door. Yummy, spelled Y-U-M-I, is a subscription-based service. Their goal is to supply the best ingredients for the first 1,000 days. They say the first couple years are important for overall mind and body development.
Well, a company that makes robotic babies, like this really loud one, is drastically improving sex education for teens in Colombia. Now, Reality Works Real Care Babies are being used to teach teens the responsibilities of parenthood. Now, the babies regularly demand to be fed and burped and rocked and changed just like the real things. They even track things like head support, the baby's temperature, time spent in a car seat, and even how often their clothes are changed. Now, the company says these robotic infants have reduced teen pregnancy so far by about 40% among 1,400 students.
That's a great idea.
It is, very.
It's been around for a while, but it makes a lot of sense. Hey, there's our respective Facebook pages. Feel free to stop by, say hello, like the pages if you could, and we'll update fresh content every day right there to our pages. So please say hello. We're also on Instagram as well.
That's right. Ray has a nice sunset collection as well.
That's true.
A bunch of different things.
Yeah.
For those of you that can stay up past your bedtime.
That's true.
While driving while tired sometimes is now shown to cause 8 times as many crashes.
A new study shows just how common drowsy driving actually is. ABC's Diane Macedo has the story.
In this morning's GMA First Look, asleep behind the wheel. Watch as this woman barely misses other cars, or this man gets thrown from his car. Even professionals are vulnerable, with cops blaming this pileup on a drowsy truck driver.
FedEx truck hit me in the back.
New research from AAA suggests these accidents are vastly underreported. According to the study, up to 10% of all crashes are caused by drowsiness, significantly higher than the 1 to 2% federal statistics show. The AAA Safety Foundation put cameras in cars to watch drivers.
So you can look at whether their eyelids were drooping, if their eyes were closing for extended periods of time, and use that to determine whether they were drowsy or not. You can actually look at video in the seconds and minutes leading up to crashes. Really adds an additional layer of insight.
And we'll tell you how to stay safe on the road coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Diane Macedo, ABC News, New York.
Online dating? I know people meet that way, but where would I even begin?
Open laptop, go to OurTime.com, look for free. It's easy to take a look on Our Time, the fastest growing dating site for people over 50.
Mom would always say you go to Burlington when you need a new coat.
I love the jewelry.
They have everything for the baby. Dresses,
shoes and socks,
sweaters, great fragrances.
All the great brands at a fraction of the cost.
It's Burlington Coat Factory.
It's just Burlington.
Oh, Burlington.
If you could see your cough, you'd see all the sickness you're spreading. Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats more symptoms for your cough, cold, and flu. Robitussin CF Max Severe, because it's never just a cough.
My healthy routine helps me feel my best, so I add Activia yogurt to my day. With its billions of live and active probiotics, Activia may help support my digestive health, so I can take on my day. Activia, now in probiotic dailies.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call, let us give you some peace of mind.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt would leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you too.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, a major budget vote is set to take place today in Tallahassee regarding state spending.
The flu virus impacting many on the Suncoast, including kids right here and local schools. We're telling you how it's impacting their absences and the attendance at local schools straight ahead.
And a new effort to bring more affordable housing to Florida. We'll explain those stories and much more this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Good morning to you. Happy Thursday, or Friday Eve as we call it. Thanks for waking up and joining us this morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. Hello, early risers. It is February 8th, and John Scalzi has details of another warm day, John.
Loving these days.
Yep, it's going to be nice today. In fact, we have a series of fronts that are moving through, but none of these fronts are really going to impact our temperatures all that much. We stay warm up near 80, so I'm going to go ahead and plant my tomatoes. I'm going to do it. Yep.
Nice.
Going for it. Across the region, we have about an 8 to 10 mile visibility across the coastal areas. So, that the coastal fog not materializing across our region. You go a little bit further to the north, and boy, you don't have to go far, about 60 miles or so, and you start to pick up some pretty heavy fog along the coast. But our winds have not been sufficient to produce that kind of fog and push it back toward our coastline. So we got lucky so far. Things could change over the next hour or two, but so far, so good. 65 degrees, the air temperature most everywhere. We have a 67 degrees in Northport. Richard in Northport comes in with 63 degrees at his recording site. And Cooper, our youngest weather watcher in central Sarasota, comes in with 64. We're looking today for a very mild afternoon. Our daytime highs will top out again near the 80-degree mark. As we head into 3 p.m., look for about a 20% chance of maybe some patchy drizzle, but that's about it. Coming up, we'll talk about that next cold front headed our way and what it will do to our weekend forecast. Back to you.
All right, good tease. Thank you, John. Let's check the roads right now. You'll see a couple blips there on State Road 70 around 301 and also on 14th Street West, also known as US 41 right there. Let's check farther south now on the map in the northern half of Sarasota County, and we'll find out in that case there are some buildups on Bee Ridge, right where it says Bee Ridge. That's between Beneva and McIntosh, Clark Road in the eastbound lane around Lockwood Ridge. And our final map of the south shows all clear at 6:33.
Well, we've been talking about the flu all month long, as many of you have as well. This season has been worse than most, and one of the hardest hit so far has been kids.
That means many are expected to miss school. Our Marla Spence joins us now live from the Sarasota Military Academy. Marla?
Yeah, the number of absences has climbed this flu season, and many school officials believe it's due to the flu. We spoke to a Manatee County school board district official, and they say that the number of cases continue to climb. On average, the school have about 3,000 kids who are out due to any type of illness or sickness. But now that the flu season is here and it shows no signs of stopping, there are about 4,000 absences weekly due to illness.
The student absentees usually goes around 94% attendance, and we did see a spike in the second and third week of January for our attendance. So it went up about 1,000 to 1,300 students on the last 2 weeks of school. But
School officials say that students are usually out 5 to 7 days. There's no word yet on whether those absences are actually due to the flu. And so parents are being advised to keep their kids safe by sending them off with hand sanitizer as well as tissue to kind of keep the flu from spreading throughout classrooms and keep them from getting sick. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. Some good tips out there. Now, for the latest on our continued flu coverage and how to stay healthy, along with breaking news, traffic, plus your up-to-the-minute first alert forecast, just head over to our app. You can download it, look under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Happening today in Tallahassee, the State House and Senate are set to vote on rival versions of a new $87 billion state budget. The spending plan will cover all state spending from July 2018 to June 2019. The bottom line is the same, $87 billion. But the two chambers are not spending the same on things like education and environmental programs.
Governor Rick Scott is using a Suncoast business to tout state job growth. The governor met with employees of Rapid Composites yesterday, and it's a Sarasota-based company that's been on the cutting edge of technology for years now. The governor says he's proud of the fact that Florida businesses have created 1.5 million jobs since December of 2010.
I like working with people that care about jobs. We just announced $35 million state investment in 9 communities in our Florida Job Growth Grant Fund. It's going to create more jobs in our state. My goal is month in and month out, add jobs.
It's very exciting for us, and it was incredible. It was a great experience. I think it went really well, and we've been, we were warmly received and really enjoyed getting an opportunity to showcase our business here in Florida.
Rapid Composites is a small business that designs, engineers, and manufactures a variety of different hardware using advanced drone technology for law enforcement as well as the military. Well, Florida lawmakers are also working on adding more affordable housing. Some city and county officials are asking the state legislature to dedicate more money for that affordable housing, calling the current housing situation a crisis. The group is also asking lawmakers to not divert money from the Housing Trust Fund to balance the state budget, which has actually been done in previous years.
The Senate has passed a plan on Capitol Hill to fund the government, but the House isn't there yet, so there is still a chance the government could shut down later tonight. ABC's John Lawrence has details from Capitol Hill.
Senate leaders from both parties agreed on a 2-year budget deal Wednesday.
I hope we can build on this bipartisan momentum and make 2018 a year of significant achievement for Congress, for our constituents, and for the country that we all love.
The agreement boosts military and non-defense spending as well as add $80 billion for disaster relief.
Doesn't have everything Democrats want. It doesn't have everything Republicans want, but it has a great deal of what the American people want.
President Trump applauded the budget deal, saying it is so important for our great military. However, there's a hurdle in the House. Democrats want a concrete promise for a DACA vote that would protect the undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children.
Without that commitment from Speaker Ryan, comparable to the commitment from Leader McConnell, this package does not have my support.
While some GOP House members think the Senate deal will spell doom for the deficit.
We didn't campaign on growing government, so this is not consistent with what we told the voters, and I would argue not even close to being consistent with what they said in the 2016 elections.
And if the House doesn't approve it by Thursday night, the government will suffer a second shutdown in as many months. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Happening this morning in Sarasota. Are you interested in what's going to happen to our bayfront? If you are, the public is invited to an open session to discuss the future of those 50 acres of prime-time city-owned bayfront land. That meeting is going to begin at the Van Winslow Performing Arts Hall. It's going to start about 8:30 this morning. After 4 years of discussion, plans are now in place to develop the property. The city would like to know what the community wants to see done with all of that land. Some great ideas out there, from restaurants to shopping and more. This is going to be the third open session on ideas for that property.
Well, we often talk about health care, but what about health insurance for pets? Yeah, some pet owners are paying thousands of dollars out of pocket for life-saving treatments, chemotherapy, emergency surgeries. So could pet insurance help you save money? We asked a local veterinarian.
I do have cases come in where
a dog could undergo treatment that could potentially be life-saving. We can never make guarantees. And people end up going for humane euthanasia because it's either they pay for that procedure, which might work, or they keep the roof on their house.
Tonight at 6, ABC 7's Jeff Stowdrick will investigate how much pet insurance could cost you and whether or not it's worth it in the long run. Interesting topic there. You don't think about that.
Yeah, you don't think about it, but until you have to think about it when there's something like chemotherapy or a surgery that costs a couple $1,000s. Sometimes people have to set a limit as to what they're able to spend on their pet. Terrible decision to make.
And now in the terrible sharp turn, funnel cakes, spinning rides.
Fried
is one thing. The Florida State Fair starts today.
That's right, one of our favorites. Governor Rick Scott and Attorney General Pam Bondi are at the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa this morning. They're going to be flipping the switch on those midway lights. The gates are going to open at 10 o'clock, along with all of those rides and so much fried food. There's going to be some great music acts. It is the largest traveling giant wheel that they've got this year.
Oh.
Ray, you're going to like this. There's a ninja show.
Nice.
I think you've been waiting for that.
Oh, yeah.
BMX Freestyle Madness and so much more. Now, the Florida State Fair, it actually runs through February the 19th. One of those great events. That was like one of the first things I did when I first moved down.
Is that right?
Love the Florida State Fair, yeah.
Bucket list.
Yes,
All
it's
right.
good stuff. All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest in your first alert traffic. And how far would you venture for beauty?
Look at this, a slimy skincare routine that you can find in your own backyard, perhaps. That story and more when we come back. But first, here's a look at a busy part of our road, University and I-75. There's a live picture right now as traffic starts to queue up there around the diverging diamond. We'll check the region's traffic and John Scalzi's weather forecast and more news coming up next on Good Morning Suncoast.
It's Greek time! February 8th through the 11th at the 34th Annual St. Barbara Greek Festival. Bring your family and friends. Treat yourself to authentic Greek home cooking and pastries. Plus, dance to traditional Greek music. Visit a marketplace filled with crafts and jewelry from local artisans. Children will enjoy the kids' zone and everyone will have a good time. Bring your appetites and spend a day in Greece without leaving the area. The Greek Festival at St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church just north of University Parkway, where Lockwood and Talevast roads meet. Yasu!
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking a multimedia producer for our morning news program. Strong and efficient digital, social media, and writing skills required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Again, we've been keeping an eye on this webcam all morning long. This is from the Cortez Bridge, and thus far, we have not seen much in the way of any kind of sea fog inhibiting the flow of traffic. So that's good news. The Cortez Bridge, as I mentioned, is kind of our canary in the coal mine in terms of sea fog anyway. And we're not seeing a lot of that develop in our area because winds are so far calm. It doesn't allow for any kind of motion to bring that sea fog in from Gulf waters. So to the north of us, that's not the case. And if you are traveling today, heading north up 41, you're going to encounter some thicker sea fog after about a 1-hour drive. That'll probably linger through mid-morning, too. 65 degrees, current air temperature, fair amount of cloud cover around. We do have a dew point value that comes in also at 65, so we have 100% relative humidity. Still not out of the woods for sea fog. We could still see some form over the course of the next few hours, but at least for the morning commute, I think we're looking pretty good there. 70 degrees by 9 a.m. We'll have a mix of sun and fair weather clouds. Then as we head into the noontime hour, about 76 degrees. We'll top it out again warm today with maybe a few sprinkles around as we have a front that's sinking south through our area through the afternoon, but particularly into the evening hours. We'll go with about a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures fall off to around 72 by 7 p.m. this evening. Across the region, this is our frontal boundary. High pressure back behind it, providing most of the United States right now with pretty decent weather, but that will change as a little clipper system comes down and gives the mid-Great Lakes and the Northeast another shot at some fast-moving snow showers as we head into the next 48 hours. This frontal boundary, it's going to kind of fall apart. As it sinks south, we'll notice the energy associated with it become less and less. High pressure back to the north will build in. We'll get this wind that will eventually come out of the northeast. I think that will probably reduce our fog problem tomorrow as it blows most of the sea fog back out to sea. We do have a tail end of this front kind of lifting north as a warm front, producing a little bit of showery activity and maybe some clouds in the central Gulf. Some of the upper level winds could blow that cloud cover across our region and kind of keep the feel of the atmosphere a little unsettled for a couple of days. Have the potential of seeing a few scattered showers around late in the day in inland areas particularly, but I think most of us are just going to get some isolated sprinkles nearer the coast. So more clouds, isolated sprinkles, more sun around tomorrow, but we'll still be beating back the clouds. Not a big thunderstorm risk with this system as it sinks southward. In fact, we're looking pretty quiet here. Beach and boating forecast calls for a north wind coming in about 10 to 15, northeast at about 15, 2-foot seas and a light chop. And I think as we head into the rest of the week, it's going to look pretty good. Today, 81, 20% chance of showers, 82 tomorrow with a little more sunshine. As we head into Saturday, we'll probably cloud up again because of another front approaching. But none of these fronts are going to lower our temperatures all that much. We still stay warm right straight through the period. 20% to 30% chance of showers on Sunday into Monday, and then we start to clear things out. As we head into Valentine's Day, I do think that on Wednesday things are going to look pretty good for us. The Valentine's Day forecast right now shaping up to be pretty nice with about a 72-degree temperature as we head into the evening hours. Yeah, it all looks pretty good. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. We'll see the scene first off in Manatee County, some buildup on 301 northbound after you get past State Road 70. Otherwise, relatively clear so far. Farther south in Sarasota County, a little blip there at 41 where you approach the 301 fork in the road and either head toward the Bayfront or toward downtown. Otherwise, pretty clear in the northern half of Sarasota County. South County checking all clear at 6:48 on this Thursday morning. Stephanie?
All right, well, in Health Smart this morning, we're going to take a look at just how far people are going, all in the name of beauty. It involves a common visitor that you might find in your garden or your backyard. ABC's Denise Dador shows us the slithering and slimy secret to get that beautiful glowing skin.
Something about snail slime is good for your skin, but who'd let one slither down their face? For better skin, Maggie Zamora is game.
That sounds kind of fun.
To us, it's just snail excretions, but if you break it down, the slime that snails leave behind in their trail contain multiple anti-aging properties.
They excrete things like copper peptides, hyaluronic acid, which is a great moisturizer, antimicrobial peptides and molecules.
All properties that promote anti-aging and rejuvenation.
I feel like my skin is already sagging a little bit and have some spots.
But dermatologist Shirley Chi says the studies have been done in the lab and not on the skin, so the medical jury is still out. In the meantime, snail slime has spawned a craze in beauty products.
Hi Maggie, so I'm going to be applying the snail mask on you.
You can find snail trails in masks, eye creams, and serums, ranging in price from $600 to $600. The FDA doesn't regulate these products, so Dr. Chi says it's hard to know if you're getting what you pay for. And some people may find snail mucin irritating.
We don't really know what concentration is in each product. We don't know what percentage of snail mucin versus just regular moisturizer is in any product, and also it could be allergenic to some people.
So tread lightly when it comes to shelling out big bucks. And just like Dr. Chi's recommendation to use aloe gel from the actual plant, finding a regular garden snail to place on your skin would be an inexpensive way to see if it helps.
And if you've got something that you want to treat with a snail slime, if you got a snail, put it on your face. I dare you.
Dare you?
Would you do it?
I would totally do it. Because I think it kind of would feel cool, like with the snail, like, you know,
Yeah.
creeping around in your face. It seems oddly relaxing, although slightly gross.
There was a local place that would, you put your feet on Bee Ridge Road and live fish.
Yes, the pedicures. I've seen
Yeah.
those where they chew off your calluses and your dead skin.
It happened around here for what? People
Sorry
are
about
eating,
your
eating
breakfast this
breakfast right
morning.
now.
So
All
sorry.
complaints go to her. She said it. Up next, your top headlines, and also Mr. Rogers coming back to your neighborhood on a stamp.
That is right. We're going to have more on where you're going to be able to find that stamp coming up right after this.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the two newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I do that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Here are the top headlines on the Suncoast today. You are invited to a session this morning at the Van Wezel to give opinions on the future of the Bayfront. A design company is here from Boston taking notes. The session starts at 8:30 a.m.
Plus, healthcare costs are a big concern in our community, but how often do you think about the cost of healthcare for your pet? Well, tonight at 6 on ABC 7, we're going to compare the cost of pet insurance.
And in Tallahassee today, the Florida House and Senate will vote on respective versions of an $87 billion state budget. John Scalzi?
So we're looking at a pretty decent day today. We'll have a fair amount of cloud cover around, but temperatures will respond to near the 80-degree mark. Okay, there'll be a little breeze tonight, and we're looking at only 3 beach balls out of 4 because of little cloud cover, perhaps a sprinkle.
All right, we'll take those beach balls. A good forecast right there.
Aw.
Finally this morning, Mr. Rogers. He is coming back to our neighborhoods on a stamp. The U.S. Postal Service will release a forever stamp featuring the television icon. They're actually celebrating the 50th anniversary of the show this year. Now, of course, Fred Rogers, he hosted Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for its full 30-year run that ended back in 2001. He passed away 2 years later at the age of 74. You can buy that stamp March 23rd.
A new stamp. That's tough to lick, John.
Yeah.
Oh, boom, boom.
He's back in the news now. Between
Fred Rogers would never have said that.
No, he wouldn't.
Let's not endorse this.
Put me in timeout.
It's a shame there's a generation of kids that will never see that program.
Oh, you're so right.
They know Barney.
Here's a live picture of University Parkway in 75. Have a good day, folks.